Now we want to go to North Carolina. We reported last week that North Carolina lawmakers, the GOP there, said that they were going to attempt to redraw their congressional maps. This in line with what we saw take place in Texas and then also what we've seen taking place in California. They put out a new map at the end of last week. That map actually would redraw and phase out potentially a person, Don Davis, Representative Don Davis in the North Carolina's 1st District, Dare County, of our area here that we cover here at 13 News Now in the northeast portion of North Carolina. But right now, North Carolina senators are hosting some kind of General Assembly meeting, and I believe that they are talking about those maps. So let's kind of dive into that while we're still waiting on this press conference from the governor of North Carolina, Josh Stein.
And kept intact.
In general, it means that they are concentrated into more congressional districts, fewer congressional districts. What we have done in the past is that
I don't understand that. Tell me, Guilford has 3 congressional districts in it, as opposed to 1 or 2 at most. So tell me.
Yeah, as I've said before on previous maps, nothing's changing in Guilford on this particular map. I do need to emphasize that, but our intent is to keep as many counties whole as possible, and by therefore putting additional divides into larger counties means that more counties are kept whole as in the map in its entirety. And for example, with Mecklenburg, it must be divided, so dividing it twice means the number of counties divided are less.
So my final question. Did anyone give you input regarding how races might be impacted regarding this map?
No, we have received no information regarding specifically legally significant racially polarized voting. And so I think the committee in multiple meetings overdrawing the previous maps asked for that on multiple occasions. Nothing was ever submitted. And no, we've not received any information regarding race on this map.
Okay. Well, my final comment is, did you consider, did North Carolina or your Republicans consider that President Trump is actually doing?
Okay, we're going to try to keep a close tabs on that. That's a very important conversation. We are going to skip over now to North Carolina Governor Josh Stein, who has just walked up for his press conference.
We must recognize that the General Assembly is returning to session today with the wrong priorities. Last week, Senator Berger and Speaker Hall announced that they will be manipulating North Carolina's congressional maps for partisan advantage even more than they already have. I'm extremely disappointed by this cynical power grab. Understand that the Republican legislature is abusing its power to take away yours. In our representative democracy, voters are supposed to choose their representatives, not the other way around. They are doing long-term damage. At the same time, they are failing to act on critical priorities the state faces. There are several other issues that require the legislature's immediate attention instead. What is more important than the safety and health than the people of North Carolina? The Republicans in the General Assembly need to get their priorities straight. Instead of taking away people's power at the ballot box, let's put the people first. Last week, I sent the legislature a letter laying out the action North Carolina is counting on them to take this month. First, we need to make serious investments in public safety. House Bill 307 was a step forward, but as I said when I signed that bill into law, it did not go far enough. Just as I proposed in my March budget, I am calling on the General Assembly to fund my $195 million public safety package to protect North Carolinians from violence and from fentanyl and opioid crisis. That money would provide law enforcement with pay increases and recruitment and retention bonuses. We count on law enforcement for our safety. We need to put our money where our mouths are to address staffing shortages and get more well-trained cops on the beat. putting public safety first also means investing in mental health. The two people who committed horrific acts of violence in Southport and in Charlotte were suffering from serious mental illness. If our mental health system fails to serve people when they need it, then we are also failing to keep our people safe. One easy, preliminary step the legislature can take is to simply not go backwards. I'm calling on them to reverse the cuts they already made to our mental health system earlier this year. That includes $18.5 million from the state's behavioral health system, $15.6 million taken from the psychiatric inpatient and crisis beds, and $10 million taken from the mental health task force and recurring funding. We also have a major health care staffing shortage at our state hospitals. Nearly 40% of this state's psychiatric beds are empty. Not because there isn't need, but because there isn't sufficient staffing. This real problem is keeping people from getting the help that they desperately need. With $15 million, we could make the salaries of our healthcare technicians competitive so that we can hire the necessary staff and utilize these mental health beds for the good of the people of this state. And if we really want to take mental health and public safety seriously, it is past time to fully fund Medicaid. The legislature knows as well as I do that the cuts that went into effect on October 1st are harming people and the damage will worsen over time. Both chambers agree that more funding is needed. Both chambers agree on the amount of funding that is needed, and yet they have yet to appropriate it. It is a shameful abdication of their responsibility. State law requires DHHS to maintain a balanced budget. The legislature's failure to appropriate adequate funding has forced the department to make painful choices. But it is not too late for the legislature to right this ship. The legislature can still save the day. I urge Leader Berger and Speaker Hall to step up and get this done. Send me a clean Medicaid bill and I will sign it. Now, I will spotlight some of the great work that's going on in our state. I'm going to ask DMV Commissioner Paul Tyne to join me on the stage, please. On September 30th, I signed Senate Bill 245 into law, enabling more people to renew their driver's licenses online. I thank the General Assembly for working with the DMV to pass this bill, and I applaud the DMV for their speedy implementation. The bill is helping more people skip the trip to the DMV by allowing them to renew their license online instead of in person. And that, in turn, is shortening the lines for folks who have to visit in person. In the first 2 weeks of this policy, more than 18,000 people have renewed their licenses online. That's 18,000 people who couldn't have done so before. 18,000 people who otherwise would have had to go to a DMV office, adding to the length of the lines there. The DMV has also made great progress in filling vacancies and hiring more examiners. When the General Assembly appropriated funds in August to add 64 new driver's license examiners this year, the DMV filled each of those positions within 1 month. That is absolutely incredible. Out of 632 examiner positions across North Carolina, we are at 95% staffed. More examiners means faster service and better experiences for customers. We know that we still have a very long way to go to make people's DMV experiences smoother, speedier, and less stressful, and we are going to keep at it. But let's recognize these improvements and keep looking for ways to do even better. I'll now invite forward Commissioner Tyne to share more updates on the DMV. Commissioner.
Thank you, Governor. All of us at Team DMV are grateful for your support in what we're doing to improve service for North Carolinians. I also want to thank the legislature, the Department of Transportation, Secretary Johnson, former Secretary Hopkins, the auditor, other state agencies, and partners for all that they are doing to support DMV. We still have a long way to go, but as the governor said, we have made incredible changes. Our goal in the short term is to reduce demand by allowing more online transactions, increasing capacity by hiring frontline staff, and driving process improvements. I especially appreciate your support and that of the legislature in passing Senate Bill 245, which has allowed for more online renewals for our customers. Non-real ID driver licenses can now be renewed online for a second consecutive time. Real ID driver's licenses can also be renewed online for a second time if you visited an office for a transaction since your last renewal. You can find out if you're eligible by going online to ncdmv.gov at your next renewal. Within a week of the governor signing the bill into law, we had non-real ID licenses up and running on the website. Late last week, we added the real ID license renewals. As of midnight, as the governor said, we've had over 18,000 people take advantage of being able to renew online. That's 18,000 people out of the offices, but to put it in context, we serve about 8,000 people a day in all of our offices across the state. So that's like having an entire extra day available to us each and every week. But we're not done. The last part of Senate Bill 245 will allow teen drivers to upgrade from level 2, the before nines, to level 3, the after nines, online. We expect this to be available in about 2 weeks. All told, we estimate these new online services will move up to 400,000 customers each year out of the office and out of line. But we're not done. The governor mentioned earlier our rapid hiring of 64 new positions within 30 days, thanks to the Department of Commerce and OSHR's help. But hiring them is just half the battle. We needed to get them to work fast. We've revamped our training program to shorten the time at the home office and maximize the effect of the new examiners in the field. We're now on a path to clear a 6-month training backlog and get all new hires contributing in the field within 2 weeks so they can serve the public while they continue to learn. We're also giving teen drivers and their parents more options for the road tests. We developed a program that certifies driver's education schools to provide the tests on our behalf. You should check with your local driver's education school to see if they've joined the program. Just for your context, we do about 90,000 of these tests a year. We're piloting new scanners that will save up to 90 seconds per transaction. You add all of those up and you're looking at about 100,000 more transactions available through our offices each year. While wait times will remain a challenge, until our capacity to serve meets our demand, we're working on improving the wait. This summer, we started taking walk-ins all day, and we developed a streamlined process to get you in the queue quickly and allow you to wait from anywhere. We then text you a link where you can watch your place in line from your phone. When it's almost your turn, we send you a message to invite you back into the office where you'll have a short wait before you get service. This is a much better experience than waiting in line outside the office for an extended period of time exposed to the elements. I'm hoping the public will come away with 2 very important items today. First, you do not have to have an appointment to come into the DMV. We serve over 87% of our people as walk-ins at our offices. Second, you do not have to come in early in the morning. This only makes your wait longer. We generally do not hit capacity at our offices before 9 or 10 each morning, and many offices do not hit capacity until long after that. Remember, you can come in around opening, get in the queue, wait comfortably anywhere you want, and then while monitoring your place in line until it's your turn. To our valued customers, we are committed to making your experience at DMV faster, more convenient, and more accessible. Every step we take, whether it's expanding online service, streamlining in-office processes, or hiring and training staff more efficiently, is designed with you in mind. We hear your feedback, and we're working tirelessly to reduce wait times and enhance your experience. Thank you for your patience and trust as we continue to improve and serve you better every day. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Commissioner. Last month, we marked 1 year since Hurricane Helene struck western North Carolina. It's been an all-hands-on-deck effort to get further down the road to recovery, and I cannot praise our nonprofit partners enough. These organizations have stepped up to help their neighbors in need. In times when the bureaucracy has slowed us down, they have been able to surge ahead. So earlier this month, we awarded more than $9 million that the legislature had appropriated to 14 nonprofit organizations that are active in recovery work. These dollars will help them keep up the good work they're already doing, whether it's replacing roofs, installing septic systems, or fixing electrical wiring. These $9 million are in addition to the $6 million that we had already awarded to Habitat for Humanity and Baptists on Missions back in January. $6 million that has helped those two organizations repair more than 500 homes. To each of the organizations on the ground doing this important work, I thank you and I urge you to keep it up. We will be with you every step of the way. We're now going to hear a video message from Rachel Deary with All Hands, All Hearts, a nonprofit grant recipient. Rachel?
Hello, my name is Rachel Deary, and I am Director of Grants at All Hands and Hearts. We are a voluntary organization active in disasters now in our 20th year. And I apologize for the video format, but my North Carolina cohort is about 4 hours away right now repairing homes in Buncombe and Haywood counties. As a national organization, All Hands and Hearts is not only grateful, we are humbled to receive a $435,000 grant from the Stein administration of the state of North Carolina. We may be national, but right about now we're feeling rather neighborly because we have been in Western North Carolina since last September 30th, helping communities recover, pick up the pieces from Hurricane Helene. And our key partners have been from the area as well, such as the Swananoa Grassroots Alliance, Savage Ops, and Silverados, and Rebuild Haywood more recently, the Buncombe County LTRG, Black Mountain Home, and the Lake Junaluska Retreat Center, which is now our base of operations. To date, nearly 10,000 North Carolinians have received assistance through our community-based efforts, from distribution of essential food and supplies to hazardous tree removal to mucking and gutting of mud-filled homes. The grant that we're talking about today enables All Hands and Hearts to keep up the momentum as we transition to long-term hurricane repair work that is needed now. Specifically, it enables our experienced staff to hire licensed contractors when the homes our teams are repairing also require complex repairs such as roofs, septic, HVAC systems, and plumbing and electrical work. In short, this grant is critical to ensuring that a full range of quality, resilient repairs is within reach for 25 to 30 households experiencing vulnerability. Again, heartfelt thanks to the Stein administration, to our partners, for keeping our hands and our hearts at work well into 2026 towards the North Carolina recovery.
That's great. So pleased to have All Hands, All Hearts partnership. I am now excited to turn to economic development. I'll invite forward in a moment a couple speakers. Earlier this year, North Carolina was ranked the top state for business in 2025 for the third time in the last 4 years. Thanks to our top-tier workforce and our strong business climate, businesses and employees alike want to call our state home. Last week alone, several businesses announced their plans to invest in North Carolina for the first time or to expand existing operations. As a result, 237 jobs are coming to Greene, Lenoir, and Ashe counties, leading to $47 million in capital investment in those areas. I want to thank Judco, Electrolux, Cardin, and MST Rebar. These are the companies that are investing in North Carolina, which they announced last week. Since January 1, we have announced nearly $20 billion in capital investment in this state, creating approximately 28,000 jobs, good jobs with good wages. Of course, we need to make sure that our people have the skills and knowledge to succeed in an ever-changing economy. And that's why I'm excited today about a workforce development announcement that we will share. Now I'll invite forward DMVA Secretary Jocelyn Millette and GE Aerospace Christian Meisner to the stage. North Carolina was first in flight. We are also the future of flight. The state is synonymous with aviation and aerospace innovation. North Carolina's aviation industry contributes $88 billion to our state's economy each year. Our state is home to more than 400 aerospace companies. To maintain our reputation as the top state for business, we cannot let up. We've got to put in the work and make sure that our people are ready for the jobs of today and tomorrow. Today, GE Aerospace Foundation is announcing a $500,000 donation to Heroes Make America program in North Carolina. This donation will fund new aircraft and power plant maintenance technician certificate program near Fort Bragg. Starting next year, the program will train dozens of people every year, service members, veterans, National Guard members,